Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to learn about petroleum. As you know, when we drill the earth or below the sea, and mainly we get petroleum and natural gas, and if we dig down into the earth on the land, we get coal. In this chapter, as we were going to learn about mainly coal and petroleum, we have covered about coal. So now let's learn about petroleum. The term petroleum comes from the Latin word. So petroleum comes from the Latin word petra, meaning rock, and oleum, meaning oil. So they joined this rock, oil. It is used, so petroleum, the word petroleum is used to describe a broad range of hydrocarbons that are found as gases, liquids or solids beneath the surface of the earth. Now, we will discuss about hydrocarbons in another videos, but briefly there are three types of hydrocarbons, or the nomenclature of hydrocarbons are alkanes, alkenes, and finally alkynes. We will discuss about this in another video. Let's learn about petroleum. So, the two most common forms of petroleum are natural gas and crude oil. You see, petroleum or crude oil is a complex mixture of solid, liquid and gaseous hydrocarbons mixed with salt water and earthly impurities. Earthly impurities is nothing but the impurities which we find that are organic, like which are not man-made. So, hydrocarbons are compounds that contain only carbon and hydrogen. This is the main point you will need to know. Now, it is believed that petroleum is formed by the anaerobic decomposition of extremely small sea animals and plants which got buried under the surface of the earth millions of years ago. Let's discuss about formation of petroleum. So, millions of years ago, very large number of microscopic plants and animals lived in the sea. They died because of some calamity and their bodies sank to the bottom of the sea. So, millions of years ago, there were some tiny plants on the seabed or somewhere here under the sea. Due to some major natural calamity, let's say an asteroid. So the asteroid made these small microscopic plants into a thin layer. So it compressed them like coal. So they got buried, and anaerobic decomposition means the absence of oxygen. This is the main point. So, in the absence of oxygen, decomposition happened, and these extremely small sea animals and plants turned into petroleum. There's a lot of difference between petrol and petroleum. You will come to understand it later. So these dead bodies then got covered by mud and sand. Thus, the bodies of dead plants and animals decayed in the absence of air under high temperature and pressure of the earth. The products of the decay were petroleum and natural gas. These products got trapped between two layers of impervious rocks, forming an oil trap. So, if you go to an oil well and you ask them the cross section kind of picture, they will show you this. There's water and there's rock. This is impervious rock, meaning it can't be penetrated by water, or water or any liquids or solids can't pass through it. And here you will find natural gas, and the next layer will be of crude oil, and beneath the crude oil you will find a layer of water, which is here, and this is kind of the cross section. So this is water, and this happens because we know that oil is less dense than water. So here this is also an impervious rock, meaning liquids or solids can't pass through it. Like for example, if you take mud or sand and try to pour water through it, the water will pass. But if you take cement and form a bucket kind of shape, the water will not pass. This happens naturally. So in an oil well, you can see there will be two different wells. One for the crude oil and the other well for the natural gas. So here are the wells. So this is the main diagram of an oil well. So you can see this water, petrol and natural gas, petroleum, has got trapped between two layers of impervious rocks. So this contraption can be called as an oil trap. So the natural gas always collects above the petroleum under high pressure in the dome-shaped impervious rock, commonly called rock cap. So this is the rock cap. Let's talk about drilling of oil wells. When prospective sites of petroleum are located. So prospective sites of petroleum means nothing but sites in the sea where we can find petroleum in a contraption like this. So when these sites are found, a hole is drilled in the earth's crust by using oil rigs. Oil rig is nothing but a special drill used for drilling through impervious rocks. When the rock cap is reached, this usually at a depth of 500 to 2000 meters. So the distance from here to here will be about 500 or 2000 meters. Natural gas comes out first with great pressure. When the pressure of natural gas subsides, then the petroleum called crude oil or crude petroleum begins to flow out and is pumped out by using electric motors. So you see, this natural gas is under high pressure. So when all the pressure is released, then this petroleum or crude oil is pumped out with electric motors. Some of the main facts are: the first oil well was drilled in Pennsylvania, USA in 1859. So the first oil well was drilled in Pennsylvania, which is located in USA, in 1859. 8 years later, in 1867, oil was struck at Makum in Assam. I repeat, Makum, or whatever you call it, M-A-K-U-M, Makum or Makum, which is located in Assam. So the first oil well was drilled in Pennsylvania, USA, and 8 years later it was struck at Makum in Assam. So in India, oil is found in Assam, here, Gujarat, Mumbai, and in the river basins of Godavari and Krishna. Now, let's talk about the refining of petroleum. Petroleum is a dark, oily liquid. It has an unpleasant odor. It is a mixture of various constituents such as petroleum gas, petrol, diesel, lubricating oil, paraffin wax, and etc. So, these are the main constituents of petroleum gas. So, the method of refining petroleum is called fractional distillation of petroleum. So, fractional distillation is a method of separating a mixture of substances with different boiling points to obtain a number of components with similar boiling points. These components are called fractions. So, you see, fractional distillation works by using the property of a liquid or solid or any substance and its boiling point. So,